So today I'll be doing a video discussing Hiro Mashima, aka the fairy tale creator, reveals Natsu and Lucy's wedding at the end and why you guys need to be excited for the official pairings that Hiro Mashima has been teasing. Because when I tell you guys that the creator of the series himself has been teasing these couples since the beginning of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, this is evidence that he will reveal a spooky wedding at the end of the series, and this is all hype for Fairy Tail Next Generation. Now yes, you guys heard me right, Hiro Mashima is still planning Fairy Tail Next Generation. In case you guys have been living underneath the rock and don't know, Fairy Tail Next Generation comes after Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest. So if you're not hyped for Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, then just hop off the Fairy Tail bandwagon. Trust me, when the next gen comes, you guys won't be allowed on it, and the new couples are being revealed in Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest. There are new couples that people didn't know about from the original Fairy Tail series, and Hiro Mashima is incorporating new characters to get with the older characters. For example, Happy, we see that he's about to have a whole new Exceed, so Carla, you gotta move to the side. I know people are wanting Happy and Carla, but it's looking like Happy might end up with someone else. And one of the biggest characters that people did love to speculate who he's gonna end up with, Laxus may have just found his wife in a 5th generation Dragon Slayer. So you already know that is going to be some spooky crossbreeding between a 2nd generation Dragon Slayer, a 5th generation Dragon Slayer. But what if I told you that the old couples from Fairy Tail have been getting even more developed than ever? And I definitely do think this is fan service from Hiro Mashima, because Hiro Mashima already knows the pairings is one of the biggest things in Fairy Tail. Hell, I think you guys subscribe more for the pairings than for the actual story. But no, in all seriousness, I do think that he has been developing them even more, just because they haven't really been developed as much as a lot of people will want them to be, especially some of the other pairings I'm going to talk about later. But we do know that Hiro Mashima, he has been putting in more development for these couples, just because they didn't get as much shine in the original series. And we do know that the old couples getting together, it is a hint at the Fairy Tail Next Generation, and I definitely do believe that this will be the ending point, or at least one of the biggest hyping points for the end of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, because the main thing that we want to see is what is their wish going to be. Because in case you guys didn't know, every single character gets one wish once they're done with the Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest. All the main characters, Natsu, Lucy, Gray, they all get one wish. So I definitely do think that, alongside with the wedding, is going to be something that Hiro Mashima has been hyping up for the end, and this will lead perfectly into Fairy Tail Next Generation. Because we already see that Hiro Mashima, he's been confirming a lot of couples, and I mean via Twitter, not even in the main story. Yeah, so if you guys aren't following Hiro Mashima on Twitter, I recommend you guys go do that, because everybody's always asking, yo, Underrated Mage, how'd you get this info? Where are you going? How do you know Hiro Mashima personally? Well, no, I don't know him personally. In fact, I just follow him on Twitter, and that's where he be dropping the gems. So if you guys don't, I recommend you guys go ahead and follow him on Twitter, because we do see he has been confirming a lot of things via Twitter. For example, as you guys can see this picture, this is something that Hiro Mashima did drop on Twitter. Now obviously some people will look at it and just say it's another Nalu picture, but it did come after the end of Fairy Tail, and the fact that Hiro Mashima has still been drawing all these couples goes to show you that he is hinting something big. And we do know that Hiro Mashima is far from finished with Fairy Tail, so I do think that every single couple that he's been drawing on Twitter, just been dropping pictures of, that is definitely a confirmation of who's going to get together at the end. Because in case you guys have been living underneath the rock and didn't know, Natsu's new girlfriend has been revealed. Now, Nalu fans, stay on the video. I know you guys want to kill me for that, but we have to start acknowledging Toka. Like, I know you guys don't want to acknowledge Toka, but she is an official member of Fairy Tail. So whether you love her or hate her, you guys have to actually acknowledge her. In fact, I do think that Hiro Mashima did introduce Toka because the Lisana thing, while it was a huge spooky ordeal between Natsu and Lucy fans, that ultimately didn't go anywhere. And now we're seeing that Hiro Mashima is introducing somebody else to be Lucy's love rival. So I do think that this is a clear indication that Toka, she is here for Natsu x Lucy. And even though it hasn't been confirmed in the main story, I definitely do think that all these drawings on Twitter is a clear indication that Natsu and Lucy is going to come, but regardless of the fact that he has been introducing Toka and all these other characters. I think that Hiro Mashima is doing it just for the story, but hey, you'll never know. What if he does break our ankles? He ends up giving us Natsu and Toka at the end of the series. I know I just pissed off a lot of people, but hey, you'll never know dealing with Hiro Mashima. And we've already seen Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest has had a lot of Nalu moments. Obviously, Lucy saving Natsu when he did unlock the Dragon God form. There was nobody else who could do that, and Natsu and Lucy, I'm using air quotes, but Natsu and Lucy actually doing it. Now, I know I'm 20, so I know what I'm saying, but we gotta keep it PG-13 over here. We gotta keep it PG-13. So, Natsu and Lucy actually getting it all. I'm using air quotes because it wasn't the real Natsu and Lucy. They were just doppelgangers, shadow clones, whatever you want to call them. But the fact that Hiro Mashima even did that goes to show you that he is planning spooky events for Natsu x Lucy. And possibly my favorite Nalu moment is Natsu x Lucy's ending was foreshadowed by Mercuphobia and Carmyle. Yes, in case you guys have been living underneath the rock and don't know who Mercuphobia is, just click off the video, go read Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, and then come back and drop a like, because Hiro Mashima has literally revealed the ending of Natsu x Lucy with this character. Now, we do know that Mercuphobia and Carmyle, they did build their own kingdom. They went and became basically the rulers of their own land after Mercuphobia had his Dragon God power. So I do think once Natsu does unlock his Dragon God power, he'll be too strong and that'll force them to leave. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time, which does lead me to believe that Natsu and Lucy are for sure going to get married at the end of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest once their quest is over. And speaking of marriage, we gotta discuss the one that will happen in Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest in Juvia. Yes, all of my Juvia fans get excited because I believe this will actually happen in Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest. Yes, unlike Natsu x Lucy, I think that's gonna happen at the end of the series. So you will get to see it, but at the same time, it'll kind of be like, you know, one of the ending points. Whereas Juvia, I do think that this will already happen because Hiro Mashima been confirmed that Juvia likes Gray, but now in Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, Gray finally does accept Juvia. So I definitely do think that this is going to lead to their wedding happening in the series, similar to how Gajiel and Levi, they basically were the first couples to get pregnant in the original Fairy Tail series. I do think that Gray and Juvia, they're going to be the first couple to actually get married in the series. So the fact that Gray has finally came around and basically told Juvia, because yo, he's basically being 100% honest with her. He's telling her everything how he feels. So I do believe that this is a huge indication that Gray and Juvia are going to get married in the middle of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest. And I definitely do think it'll be different because instead of having everybody get together at the end, it'll be able to spread out all the different couples and develop them differently. And speaking of development, possibly the most developed relationship in all of anime history is Jerza, because when I tell you guys that Hiro Mashima, listen, I'm not trying to toot my old horn here, but real underrated mage fans know that we had a huge petition to basically tell Hiro Mashima to not cancel Jerza. Yeah, a long time ago, or at least a couple months ago, back when Jerza was looking a little spooky and a little shaky, I basically said let's tell Hiro Mashima to confirm it. And hey man, all I'm saying is ever since then we've been getting a lot of Jerza moments. I'm not saying that I called Hiro Mashima on his phone, but all I'm saying is, but no, in all seriousness, we do know that Jerza, it didn't have as many moments as the original other characters did in the original Fairy Tail series, but I do think that this was all for Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, because ever since the 100 Year Quest has started, he has been pushing their relationship even more. I mean, Jerza fans are loving it because this is all that they want to see. Jalal actually caring for Urza, him getting into a fight with Gears over Jerza, over Urza. So I do think this is a clear indication that Hiro Mashima, he has to make these two, Urza and Jalal, actually catch up to the others in terms of relationship chemistry, because we already know Nalu, Juvia, they've always been together since the beginning of Fairy Tail, whereas Urza and Jalal, this is really their first time really being together, seeing as Jalal was always away from Fairy Tail. He was a villain. Like, there was a lot of different things that did keep Jerza from being together and actually developing, and now in Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, I definitely do have to say that this is the most highlighted couple, because Hiro Mashima is giving them basically everything that they never got in Fairy Tail, the original series. So if you are a Jerza fan, if you're not started Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest after hearing that, you've lost all my respect. Like, just stop, just pause the video, just leave a like and just be gone, because if you guys still haven't read it after that, then man, oh man, I don't know what to tell you, because I do believe that Jerza, this one will be the final couple to get confirmed. Yes, I do believe that this will be the final couple to get confirmed. Now, unlike on, well, I'm not talking about in the story, because we already know on Twitter, Hiro Mashima has been hyping them up. This is why I do think they're going to get together. Like I said, Hiro Mashima has been dropping some spooky pictures of all of his favorite couples, and I do think that is a clear indication that Jerza will be happening, but I don't think it will be happening at the end of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, nor do I think it will happen in the middle of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest. I think it will happen in Fairy Tail Next Generation. Yes, I do believe that Urza and Jalal, they will actually get together in Fairy Tail Next Generation. So if you are a Jerza fan, I know you might have to be a little bit disappointed to hear that, but I think because they are obviously the last highlighted couple and the last, I want to say the least developed, but because they don't have as much chemistry as the other couples, I do think it will lead to them actually being the last one to have a children. And I do think that the Fairy Tail character weddings are going to be revealed in the middle of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, at the end of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, and after Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest in Fairy Tail Next Generation. Comment what you guys see down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.